DB asks a wonderful question, right? Why not lustful? That feels natural. Sexual energy is absolutely natural. Sexual energy is your biggest creative energy that you have. It is one of your biggest manifestation tools that you can use, right? It is also one of the biggest manipulative tools that is out in the collective energy. It is one of the most spiritual stealing, siphoning tools that can be used. It is the most undisciplined tool that can be used. Again, we have a conformed goodness aspect to everything. There is a spectrum, right? There is a spectrum. And sexual energy, when used with divine energy, is super powerful. It is super powerful, and it is spiritual, and it is amazing. I'm not against that. But there is abuses to everything, right? All energy can be abused, and all energy can be manipulated. And when you are in your spiritual practice, the number one thing that you have to learn is discipline. And so that is a real difficult task amongst the men, is discipline. And a lot of men aren't disciplined. They're not respectful, right? They're not respectful. They think they are entitled to sexual energy. They are abused. It's been abused for centuries, from women to children. So you do have to look at lust as what it is, because there's a spectrum. There's good sexual energy, and then there is very harmful, manipulative sexual energy. And so you have to be smart enough to understand the difference. It is very powerful. So yeah, you have to understand the abuses of it and how you participate, because every time that you are disrespectful, and I mean disrespectful in a lot of ways, and just you're tempted, right? The temptation, your inability to sexual energy is more about connecting to divine energy than it is outwardly, okay? So a lot of men are sexually, visually stimulated. It doesn't come from connection. It doesn't come from that love space. It doesn't come from a divine space where there is intimacy, true intimacy, connection with one's spirit. So a lot of men are again, this is a 3D dense energy. This is being stuck in that manipulative space where you are a part of that conformity. You are conforming to, and again, this is led by higher powers. This is led by a different source that is more powerful than you, that wants to distract you. And men have been suffering. I know there's a lot of, you guys may think I have a lot of negativity towards men, and I have a lot of knowledge about what's happening, but I don't have a negativity in a way that I don't want you guys to learn. I do want you guys to learn. I want you to recognize how you are manipulated and suppressed within your own spirit. And that comes from those imagery, that comes from all of that sexual baiting, okay? Let's say baiting. And in the way we think sex should look like or be perceived, or, it's very surface level, right? Surface level. And to the point where men, there is no connection at all. A lot of men just pay for it. It's not even, it is in the act itself that is of use to them. There is no depth to it. So those types of energy streams are not helping the overall collective. Where is your ability to have, you can have I'm not saying you're not going to have relations with people, but at what depth and what level are you having these relations with people? And is there an addiction involved? Or is, your inability to have control over your emotions, does that need to be looked at, right? Everyone has the urge, it's natural. But to some degree, like, you have to learn how to control your emotions. That is part of your spiritual practice. You may have the urge to punch somebody in the face, but you certainly would think twice if there was a police officer standing next to you, right? Like, you're going to have a lot of urges as men. You have a lot of testosterone. You're going to have a lot of urges to fly off the handle at times, but or you should know, how to pull that back and how to take a deep breath. Those are spiritual tools. Those are things that you have to learn how to control. If you're run by your emotions and you have no logic, no sir. No sir. You have a lot to learn. You have a lot to learn. Your emotions are your emotions, but they can be very immature, right? They're not matured energies.